Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's stream where we are going to look at a very first off on the EU server, as there has never been an auction of an undead MVP card before, and tonight it will happen. As you can see, the card tonight that is going to be auctioned off is the Revenant Oberon card. Um, and it certainly will raise some interest. Interestingly enough, it's the last item of tonight's list, so we're going to wait quite a bit until it actually gets auctioned. So we will take a look at some other things that currently happen on EU, and since we've had quite a bunch of players that actually turned in and watched the past streams that were quite surprised about the EU economy, we are going to use the last 8 minutes until the auction actually starts to look at something that is rather different from other servers, which is the EU exchange. The European server has complained a lot in the past, looking at how unstable the market was, looking at how um, hard it was to actually gain access to MVP cards. And that is because no one really ever insisted on selling them. And I'm just going to show you how that looks like in the current state of the exchange. If we're looking at weapon cards, for example, we got Runemaster Thanatos and Blood Knight Star card out of snapping for weapon cards in terms of MVPs. And that's it, right? So you might ask, where's the rest? Yeah, well, there is no rest. There's nothing left to tell you about. Because, oh, look. Because in the end, that's all we got, right? That's all that's been sold currently. And we are going to showcase that off a little further offhand. Finally, after some time, we do have some rather interesting cards in here, like an Alistar card, for example. Even a Basilisk card out of Snap. 4, actually, for about 300 mil. But still, even that card took quite some time to establish itself due to low prices. The demand was there, but as you can see, no MVP card in the offhand card section currently. Armor cards. I mean, we had the new card gacha starting tonight, or earlier today, so that's why we got the Grand Wolf cards in here, 2 each. One of the actually higher priced cards currently, because everyone was going to get one when they were like way cheaper. And then scrolling down, there's nothing left to see, right? And that's basically the same for all of EU. So Um, and just to let you guys understand why this is important, the EU server actually asked for price adjustments for MVP cards because we are still sitting on MVP cards that are priced at around 20 million zenny, like Edgar cards, Moonlight Flower cards. So basically, the important cards that no one's really interested in selling, they simply aren't being sold because it's not worth it to sell them. So that's basically why we are in the position we are in. Um, However, there has been actually zero change to the price of the cards, and that's why we are still in a position where we are having like the whole server bidding on stuff like Edgar's, for example, because obviously everyone can pay 22 million, right? So for garments, it's Dreamy Case CF card that we got in here. Actually, that's quite expensive as well. Dropped down in price a lot. Last time I saw it, I think it was at 1.2 billion, something like that. But we're also talking about mini cards, for example. Vagabond Wolf cards, for example. Nowhere to be found, right? Um, Shoes, no Edgar, no Moonlight Flower, of course. Oh, wait, I lied. Look, there's Edgar's little brother, apparently. He wanted to show up, but it's certainly not what we are looking for. Accessories, same topic. Smoky card out of Snap. Two, actually, for 200 mil. But yeah, as you can see, the server is craving for a bunch of more MVP cards. So we've had Edgar cards, sorry, Edgar cards in the past. In the past, what was it, 2 days? I think we had 3 Edgar cards in snapping. Last time I watched one of the sales, we were sitting at a bidder number that was around 1,000, which is a lot for you. Like the whole server population, or at least it feels like it, plus several alts. So um, that certainly makes some kind of impression. But then again, you know, getting one of those cards certainly is problematic. So let's see, do I have something in my inventory that's actually... Oh yeah, look at the... Let's take a quick look at the Ghost Ring card. Mm, and just to showcase some prices. That's why no one's selling cards on exchange. Because no one in their right mind, let's put it like this, is selling cards like Ghost Ring cards for 20 million or 28 million zenny as they are right now. So they basically just are sitting inside alt accounts or um, handbooks or wherever you want them. So that's a huge problem, actually. So hopefully those of you that are interested in that topic um, got a quick and better view on why we are always claiming that we are the poor guys. So that also comes to mind when we are looking at what's about to happen in 7 seconds. The auction we are going to see will feature the very first auction of a undead MVP card. I said it before. Um, Personally, after playing for like 5 years, Europe has their anniversary next month. Um, Pardon me. Um, in about 3 to 4 weeks, actually, we're going to have the actual problem that no one ever sold a freaking MVP card, undead MVP card, right? So, with that being said, the question is who eventually got one? If I'm looking at myself being a guild leader for 5 years now, I know of a total amount of undead MVP cards of three, four, maybe, that dropped in the past or that um, yeah, that dropped in the past actually because there hasn't been any kind of BCC box like on CN Global where they actually were able to come from. So seeing an MVP card, an undead MVP card on auction, obviously is something pretty darn important for the server, and I can tell you the buzz that it has created within my guild already. Was rather significant. I mean, you can see it already. Auctions on EU pretty much look the same every single week, with almost no item being sold at all. So, um, what we are looking at most of the time is like what we're seeing right now, right? Basically, items that do not receive any kind of bids. Obviously, if we're looking at purple relics, it's still um, Valkyrie wings for the HP relic, the Dragon Scale for True Sight relic. But those are almost at the 3K cap because there's like one or two people bidding on it. Depends on how many players are currently using um, a cheap BCC or BCC from events, basically, to stock up on a bigger BCC amount. Uh, but even then, I think the last Dragon Scale that got sold was at 3.6 after 3 players were actually competing, so that's nothing too crazy. And also tonight, looking at the auction, there's nothing of interest within the first 4 items. Also, if we're looking at the rest of the auction, really, Hiegon card, Galleon, Fallen Bishop, Game Spirit. I mean, the Gun card, maybe some kind of. But even here, if you're looking at the exchange price, because I mentioned it earlier, we are at 32 million. So basically, selling it on auction is your best choice to get some reward in if you want. But I highly doubt that it's going to sell for that price in BCC. Same for the mini cards, of course. 600 BCC. No one's going to pay that for those. So the Yggdrasil Ember currently being auctioned off. And no one bids for the Yggdrasil Ember. So the Veteran Shield is next. Can tell you a quick story about my in-game wife and her alt that basically got a full Veteran Shield when I was farming for it and just had her around in Void. So we are basically tuning into the guild chatter as well. I'm gonna leave that open for y'all to see because one of our members will try to get the undead Old Baron card at least. So we'll take a look at that. But yeah, the Veteran Shield in auction right now. Also, in terms of interest, might not be the most impressive item, really. Like, no one's going for it. Because everyone obviously is saving their BCC for the big prize that is coming up right here at the end. The Revenant Old Baron card. So, what stands out about EU, by the way, as well in terms of auctions, is that most of the cards actually aren't even put in by too many different players, right? So, the players trying to put those in are desperately in need of whatever they can find. There's still the rumor going on that you're going to get BCC when you sell it on auction, because auction is so seldomly used on EU that there's still people believing that you will get the amount of BCC that basically gets traded, which would be a nice thing, really. But yeah, so 600 BCC for a Hegon card, which certainly is not going to go well. But let me tell you, we will see a lot of action in terms of BCC battling in a few minutes. Question is, how long are we going to have to wait for that? Because obviously the auction will have to run for a little while until it actually gets to the last item. So, quick question for the viewers, or for those that are watching in hindsight. What do you think, how much BCC will be needed to claim the Revenant Old Baron card in the end? Once again, it will start at 6k. So that's somewhat of a big hurdle to get past already. So let's see. how many players are even able to get to that point. Certainly without any kind of BCC promotion recently. If we are not taking the Cooking Master uh, additional BCC into account, which also wasn't that much, I believe, for like spending what, 150 or something. You're getting like a handful of BCC, so that's nothing too crazy like pouring Vault or something. We didn't have that for quite a while, actually. So the Galleon card, also no bidders. So it's only one, two, three more items until things get serious. And maybe we can even witness some drama. We will see. We will see. So Funky has no idea. That's nothing new. Um, just put down a guess. I'd say we'll see around 10k. Around 10k, plus minus. Might be even more. I mean, we know 9,490. That's specific. I can totally see that thing. I can totally see that thing be an utter disappointment. I'm just putting up the stream here, and then everything goes like, "Oh yeah, here's your 6K thing is over. Thank you." Like that would be funny, but I highly doubt that. So let's see. 600 BCC for a Fallen Bishop card. Anyone? Yes? No? Apparently it's a no. So, okay, quick question. Anyone going to bid for the Garm? So if you need a carry for Ghost Palace and PSR, and you're actually watching videos, the stream right now, you can PM Okpud to get you in. So let's just close down the kill chat real quick. And focus on what's ahead. And of course you can join. I mean, he was asking, right? So let's go. So it's two more items. One headgear card, one armor card. Headgear, Gem Spirit. Let's go. A 600 BCC, another item that is not going to be auctioned off. As you can see, none of the items has sold tonight. Not one. But big price still ahead. Two more items to come. Almost one because the Gem Spirit card is almost over. So, any other guesses for how much will the Old Baron card be sold? Give me a quick guess. Funky was at 9.4k. I was at 10, maybe over 10. Starting price 6k. Which price? The amount of BCC that actually was used or what? I can actually pay you the amount of Zenny that the Revenant Gold Baron card. Oh no, I won't do that. That's too expensive. Like, look at that, 233 million. What? I'm poor. Nah, 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 nah. See, I only have 7, so it's definitely not gonna be me. No, no. So, Gum card, almost 2k. Anyone? Any takers for it? Guess that is a no. And a rather quick one. So, and last few moments until we get to see the most exciting auction on EU for quite some time now, or probably ever. Looking at the card being the first undead MVP card ever sold on auction, so the last few seconds until we get to witness the amount of money that is still inside this game, right? So let's see. I bet there are quite a few nervous people out there right now. Oh, look. Ah. Oh, you're going to support me? That's nice. But I'm not going to buy it. So 6k. Here we go. Random Star being the first one to place a bid here. Ojo-sama. Any guild info on that? No guild. Random again. Fury. Random. Ojo-sama. So, three-way battle so far. Yeah, Random said he will place one bid. That's a bit more than one, I guess. A Fury going for 100. Random 7k. So we are already taking quite a leap here from the 6k where it actually started. Random 7-7, Fury 7-8. 7-9-8. Hmm. Smaller steps now from Random. Only the 10 BCC offers currently. Well, Fury goes 400. So it's only a two-way battle at this point. Surprising. I thought there'd be more competition. Hmm. Was that the last bid already? 8.4. Or is there another bid from random? Oh, that's gonna be close if there's another one. And last 10 seconds. Under 8.5. Let's see. And that's it. Auction has ended, and we are witnessing a price of less than 8.5k BCC. That's super surprising, to be fair. Um, but hey, good for Fury, right? Happy for him. And yes, Funky, you were obviously the closest. Uh, as there weren't too many contestants in that regard, right? So 8.4k BCC. Um, as you can see, the guild is. Uh, yeah, well, maybe we should just pause the stream right here and like, you see that? This one, bottom left. I should edit that out, probably, right? Like, uh, so I guess Fury was interested to pay a bit more. Let's see how this is evolving. ESC expected at least 10k, so he was basically in the same at the same range as I was. Yeah, and I can just follow the chat here, the guild chat. Like under 10k, that was really surprising. On the other hand, um, Fury wants to return some BCC. Uh, might not be the best idea. Um, but actually, Funky, maybe you can help me with that. Hasn't there been the problem of actually getting uh, fresh BCC for Russian players? I mean, um, maybe that has been one of the problems. Because certainly I was expecting some more Russians to actually go in and bid on this card. Like, okay, so it's still perfectly working, yeah. Well, in that case, I don't know. In that case, I don't know. Weird. So let's just hope that Fury is um, actually online for GVGs now. That could kind of be helpful. Um, and yes, I didn't expect Russians to not find ways around that. I mean, We found ways around things for the players from Belgium and the Netherlands as well. So that's not really the problem, but still thought there might be a bit more. It might be a bit more complicated for those affected by sanctions and whatsoever, because obviously that's way more, or there's way more at stake, obviously, than for a random European country that just banned gambling in games, right? So, so as you can see, the guild at least enjoyed the auction, and that's something. But yeah, uh, I just saw 22 Nigel Bird cards. Why? Why? I think that's a valid question. Who is buying 22 Nigel Bird cards? Certainly not me. And with that being said, we're going to close down the stream. Thank you all for joining. Hope you had at least some fun and some insights into whatever was shown in here. And we're going to see each other tomorrow. Same time, same channel. This time for Explore Rome with me, um, where we are holding the formerly postponed Lost Island speedrun. Thank you for joining, and good night.